What's up my people, hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to show you how to trade the AMN model in a really simple and accurate way. So basically we always trade with the trend. So every time we have a break of structure, right, we draw a zone. So here we have a high, and as you can see we break structure. We always draw a zone from this high to this low. Then we want price to retrace into here, okay, push higher. This first tap, a lot of people put as their break protected low. They draw a new breaker structure. This is simply our liquidity. Then we look for price to sweep this, get a shift, continue higher. This is the AMN model. You're trading with the structure, you're trading with the trend. That's the same thing. You're looking for a liquidity sweep and you're entering of some sort of area of supply or demand. So we'll go into this NQ Friday. You can see we are in a clear uptrend, right? Price is pushing higher. So you look for a nice break of structure in that direction. Here we have a high. We candle close above there, giving us a low here. So this is where you draw your zone. You draw your zone from this high to this low. Okay, now what did I say? You want price to tap back in and then push higher. If we don't have that, we don't have a trade setup formed yet. Nice. Can you see? Here, right? We had a high. Price came back into the zone and made a higher high. Okay, so this tap here is your what? Is your liquidity. Okay, because this is the tap that made a higher high. This higher high does not have to be a close. It can be a wick. That's okay. And it needs to leave the zone unmitigated. Deep pullbacks we don't want to use. So we have our setup there. And to keep it simple, if you're struggling, just draw a fib from the bottom to the top and make sure your liquidity is pretty much under 50%. You want to enter and discount, you want to sell in premium classic stuff. So look for your trade to be under 50%. So if I was looking for an entry above here, I know that wouldn't be ideal. So now we wait for this liquidity to be swept. Okay, nice. Liquidity has been swept. We do want some sort of demand zone because we're in an uptrend to be resting underneath this liquidity. If we drop down to the lower time frame, you'll be able to see areas of demand a bit more clearly. And you can see, okay, what do we have? Up to down moves are areas of demand. So we have this up to down before this big impulse move up. So this is an area of demand, right? We had this up to down before a big move up. So this is an area of demand. And can you see this area of demand did the exact same thing? This is quite cool. Can you see we had a 1-2, we had our zone. We broke out of our zone. We put in a first tap. We pushed higher. Then what did we do? We swept that first tap, came to 50% of this zone and ripped higher. So this demand zone is mitigated. I'm not really paying attention to it. We have this area of demand. Look at that. Price came into it, pushed higher. So this is mitigated. So really this is our only area of demand left. And as you can see, we swept our liquidity resting before that. We swept the first touch in here too. And now we are approaching 50%. So this is a valid area for price to bounce. If I had these other two areas, if I had here, I would no longer be interested in this because we filled in all the orders. We had this. Again, I no longer would be interested in this because we tapped this, we swept it, we ripped up. This is our only resting area left. So I'm going to go back down to the higher time frame and see, okay, so we have our 6 taps, right? We always play off our 6 taps and you can see that is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is now approaching the zone. Liquidity is here, sorry. So now we need some sort of shift to tell us, yo, you know what? Price does indeed want to continue higher. So I'll drop down to a lower time frame and I want to see a shift. So you can see we have this high up here, which is responsible for our lowest low. And it's also delivering from this bearish fair value gap. So us taking this high and inversing this fair value gap would be a good sign for me that, you know what? Price does actually want to bounce from here. Let's see, let's play it out. Okay, there is the break. that's my confirmation that, you know what, right, we do want to bounce from here. So I'm going to enter my long here, stop loss below. We'll go back to the higher time frame. And because we are trading the structure, what are we expecting? We are expecting a higher high. So I'm looking for that to be taken. Let's see. Comes back, tags you in, to be fair. Boom. Rips up. Lovely, lovely trade. And I hope that makes sense. And let's go into a bearish example. So here you can see we are in a clear downtrend, making lower highs and lower lows. We put in a low, we put in a lower high, we put in a low, we put in a lower high, we put in a lower low. Now, for example, when I'm looking at my discount or premium leg here, am I looking from this high to low? You can see we already mitigated 50% of this area. We've already tapped into it, so price doesn't really need to come back into here. So I am focusing on this leg here, this high to this low, because price hasn't come back to premium, whatever, mitigate that previous area. So that is our last break of structure I'm focusing on, and this is my high. So I'm going to draw my zone from here to here. I know I want it above here. And when I'm looking at areas of supply, again, let's drop down to the lower time frame. And let's see where we have areas of supply. So you can see we have this area here, right, which is unmitigated. In an uptrend, I said down to up to down moves are demand. In a downtrend, down to up moves are supply. So we have this area of supply here, right, with a first tap. So nice liquidity there, unmitigated. We have this area of supply, which is mitigated. And we have this area, which is unmitigated. But this is, to be fair, above here is 50%. So if we get a shift in here, we can take that. So I'm really focusing on this area of supply here. And this area of supply here. Let's play that out. We tap into this one, but as you can see structurally, we continue to put in higher highs and higher lows. So no sign of a shift there. And we actually take this high of the supply, so uninterested. Now, we didn't get no shift there, but we're still watching structure to see where we can reject from this zone. So we've done high, low, high, low, high, okay. Let's see. And when people say, yo, what's the first tap in this zone? We left the zone, we never tapped back in, we never made a lower low. I'll show you the exact 6 taps. So first, to see where we get that shift. Nice. Here, we have a lovely shift here. Why? You can see we made a high, low, high, low, high, lower low. There is a shift. This here is not a shift. You should not be marking this as high, lower, low when we have this zone underneath. A bit more advanced, but premium members will know that. So this here is my real shift. And this low to this high is where I'm focusing on my sells. So let's see what we swept on the lower time frame. Now you can see we did reject actually from this area of supply here, this down to up move, and you can see we did sweep this first tap here. We took out this liquidity. So this is my 6 taps. In this example, I can draw my 6 taps from this area of supply. So I can draw it as, that's not the right tool. I can draw it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move one a bit higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We sweep that. We get that shift, 50% of the zone as well, which is beautiful. So now I'm looking to take my sell between here and here because this is where my shift was. Right here. I can see we left behind a nice area of supply here. Right, within that shift. So I can enter my short in there. Stop loss above, target a lower low. Nice. Price tags into there and price dumps. Now this is my exact AMN model, literally explained as simple as I can put it. So this video should defo help. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you do want to get the entire video course and watch me live stream my trading every single day with just the slight tweaks and advanced concepts, then feel free to join the premium Discord. The link is in the description below. Apart from that, appreciate any likes, appreciate any subscribes, appreciate your time as always, and I'll catch you in the next video.